this town brought this place in 1977. Haryasava Prabhu is one of the few devotees that are still around that actually lived here at that time. And he's done so many services throughout the years, book distribution, day in and day out. He started a restaurant down on South Street, and then moved to another. Moved up, that was down further down on South Street at 5th and South, and back up to 14th and South. And countless devotees that he's been able to speak about Krishna consciousness with, inspire them in their lives. And very grateful that he continues to come here and speak to us about the Bhagavad Gita. Please help me welcome him, chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Kunja Vihari, Jaya Radha Kunja Vihari, Jaya Radha Kunja Vihari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari, Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari, Yashodanandana Raja Jana Ranjana, Yashodanandana Raja Jana Ranjana, Jamuna Tira Vanachari, Jamuna Tira Vanachari,
Jayom Vishnu Pad, Padamahansa, Brivajaki Charya, Astilta Sata Sri Shimad, His Divine Loving Grace, ISKCON Founder Charya, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayom Vishnu Pad, Padamahansa, Brivajaki Charya, Astilta Sata Sri Shimad, His Divine Loving Grace, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavarinda Ki Jai, Namacharya Srila Haryasava Ko Ki Jai. Prem Sikh Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Radhakun Shamkun Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Navadvip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Yamun Mai Ki Jai. Jagannath Swami Ki Jai. Jagannath Baladev Subhaji Ki Jai. Shri Gaur Nitai Ki Jai. Shri Radha Shardvihari Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the lotus feet of Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we're reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 13, text 14. This chapter is entitled Nature, the Enjoyer. Wait, what is that? Nature, the Enjoyer, and Consciousness. So, I'll say it, then we'll say it. Sarvata panipadam tat. Sarvato shirshiro mukham. Sarvata shrutima loke. Sarvam avricha tishtati. Sarvata panipadmam tat. Sarvato shirshiro mukham. Sarvata shrutima loke. Sarvam avricha tishtati. Sarvata panipadmam padam tat. Sarvato shirshiro mukham. Sarvata shrutima loke. Sarvam avridya tishtati. Sarvata panipadam tat. Sarvato shirshiro mukham. Sarvata shrutima loke. Sarvam avridya tishtati. Sarvata panipadam tat. Sarvato shirshiro mukham. Sarvata shrutima loke. Sarvam avridya tishtati. Ladies. Sarvata panipadam tat. Sarvata shrutima loke. Sarvam avridya tishtati. Sarvata Sarvato shirshiro mukham. Sarvata shrutima loke. Sarvam avridya tishtati. Sarvata. Everywhere. Pani. Hands. Padam. Legs. Tat. that, Sarvataha, everywhere. Akshi, eyes. Shiraha, heads. Mukam, faces. Sarvataha, everywhere. Shrutimat, having ears. Loke, in the world. Sarvam, everything. Avridya, covering. Tishtati, exists. Translation. Everywhere are his hands and legs, his eyes, heads, and faces, and he has ears everywhere. In this way, the Supersoul exists, pervading everything. Let's say it. Everywhere are his hands and legs.
Everywhere are his hands and legs.
His eyes, heads, and faces. And he has ears everywhere. In this way, the Supersoul exists, pervading everything. Purport. As the sun exists, diffusing its unlimited rays, so does the Supersoul, or Supreme Personality of Godhead. He exists in his all-pervading form, and in him exists all the individual living entities, beginning from the first great teacher, Brahma, down to the small ants. There are unlimited heads, legs, hands, and eyes, and unlimited living entities. All are existing in and on the Supersoul. Therefore, the Supersoul is all-pervading. The individual soul, however, cannot say that he has his hands, legs, and eyes everywhere. That is not possible. If he thinks that under ignorance he is not conscious that his hands and legs are diffused all over, but when he attains to proper knowledge, he will come to that stage. His thinking is contradictory. This means that the individual soul, having become conditioned by material nature, is not supreme. The Supreme is different from the individual soul. The Supreme Lord can extend his hand without limit. The individual soul cannot. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that if anyone offers him a flower or a fruit or a little water, he accepts it. If the Lord is a far distance away, how can he accept things? This is the omniscience of the Lord. Even though he is situated in his own abode far, far away from the earth, he can extend his hand to accept what anyone offers. That is his potency. In the Brahma Samhita 537, it is stated, Goloka eva nivasat yakilatma bhutaha. Although he is always engaged in pastimes, in his transcendental planet, he is all-pervading. The individual soul cannot claim that he is all-pervading. Therefore, this verse describes the Supreme Soul, the personality of Godhead, not the individual soul. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamane Namaste Sarasvati Devi Gaurvani Charine Nirvishesha Srinyavadi Paschatya Desitarine. So, it's nice that we have the opportunity to hear and discuss Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is such a gift for human society because the Bhagavad Gita, as you know, is the song of God. But I'm always saying it's a love song. And you'll see as we go through this section why it's such an exhibition of Krishna's love that he would give us such dialogue with him and Arjuna. But anyway, right now where we're at a translation that's saying how everywhere are his hands, legs, eyes, heads, faces, and he has ears everywhere. And this way the Supersoul exists, pervading everything. So it's really difficult to start off like this, to bring you into the conversation. So I was thinking that Arjuna and Krishna are having a conversation. Arjuna wanted to understand Kshetra and Kshetrikya, just the field and the know of the field, the body, and who's actually knowing what's taking place in the body. And so that's explained very early on in Bhagavad Gita in chapter 2. But basically, in Prabhupada lets this theme run so far through the Krishna conscious movement. We're not this body, but we're the self within. And the self within, and that sounds so ABCs, but it is such an esoteric understanding to really come to the point of acting on this understanding that I'm not this body, I'm the soul within. And there's just, the soul is material, it's matter, and the self is spirit. And the self has a relationship with the supreme self, or the super self. And here, in this particular verse, explains Krishna as the super soul, just as the sun is everywhere. Its rays spread everywhere. So the super soul is also everywhere. And not only is he within the heart of every human being, but he's in the heart, he's inside of every living entity. You know, it's as if Krishna says, okay, you can go. You don't have to stay with me. You have minute independence. You can use your own free will, but I'm going to. And so therefore, Krishna always stays with us. When you see the body of some rich king or the body of a dog, Krishna is there within each body. And the body of an atom, Krishna is there still as Paramatma, as super soul. But the human form is different. In the human form of life, we always hear the mind. I say often, it depends on who has the mic. Who are we listening to? We can hear our mind all the time. All we have to do is tune in. But also the super soul is there. And the super soul is giving direction through intelligence. Actually, intelligence is the form direction of the super soul, and that's explained in the second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, second chapter, second canto, first canto, second chapter, 2:35. But anyway, it explains the nature that where the mind has its material function, actually intelligence is actually coming through to help us have action. For that action to be performed, that action needs intelligence to perform it. And that action and that understanding is coming from the super soul. So the super soul is everywhere, but he's quiet because we have to learn to hear him. When I think of how merciful and wonderful Krishna is, I don't know who to thank first, Krishna or Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada is just so amazing because we would not be here together like this if it wasn't for Srila Prabhupada. We wouldn't be using this Bhagavad Gita, discussing this, if it's not for Prabhupada. So Guru and Krishna, they work like that. Krishna is always trying to recapture the living entities, and Guru is trying to make sure that the living entity has a relationship with Krishna. So in that way, when I see how wonderful things are, I think of Srila Prabhupada. And naturally, if you think of Prabhupada, you're going to think of Krishna. So all the living entities are connected with the super soul. But the super soul, it says, he's everywhere. His hands, his legs, his eyes. How is that? Because Krishna is neither carved nor limited. And we, on the other hand, are extremely limited. We know this field. We understand what's going on in this body. but we don't understand what is taking place in other bodies. The super soul knows what's happening in every body, every nook and corner. He has that awareness. And Prabhupada says in the Gita, Yomam Pashiti Sarvatram, Sarvatramai Pashiti, Tashaham na Panashami, Sarchame na Panashiti. He said, but for one who, Krishna told Arjuna, for one who sees me everywhere, knows everything and sees everything in me, I'm never lost to him, nor is he ever lost to me. So the point is to see Krishna everywhere. But how do we do that? Gana Chakshusha, Shastra Chakshusha. So early on, Krishna told Arjuna, he encapsulated the essence of bhakti. He told Arjuna, 4:35, he says, just try to learn the truth by approaching the spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. Those self-reliant souls will impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. 4:35. And then when you have thus learned the truth, Krishna says, you'll know that all beings are but part of me, and that they are all in me, and they are mine. So he claims this. But along with that approaching the spiritual master, everything opens up. The spiritual master, first, to take us closer, he engages us in the understanding of Vaidhi Bhakti. These are the things you can no longer do. No intoxication, no gambling, no meat eating, no illicit sex. Why? Because these things are in the lower modes of material nature, passion and ignorance. So the spiritual master, as he engages us in coming to the temple, chanting Hare Krishna, he has us kick out those things which keep our consciousness down. There are three influences of material nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. And those lower modes of material nature don't allow us to hear properly or to act properly. So we give up those things voluntarily, and then we chant Krishna's name and we engage in Krishna's service. Everything opens up. That Gana Chakshusha, Shastra Chakshusha. Now we're seeing things through the eyes of scriptures. Now we're seeing through the eyes of knowledge. Our vision becomes changed. And so when we ask, then as we go on to understand how the Supreme Lord is everywhere, we can see it because Bhagavad Gita is explaining it. When you understand that though Krishna is so far away, he's so close. He's far away, but he says, Patram Pushpam Palam Toyam. If you offer me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, fruit, water, I will accept it. How does he do that? Because Krishna, the Supreme Lord, he's not limited like we are. The Supreme Lord is both near and far. So that's an aspect of it. But later here in the Brahma Samhita, it says that although he is far away, he has a realm, another realm. It's called the spiritual world, Goloka Vrindavan. And there, the real life is taking place. In Krishna's realm, every word is a song, every step is a dance. There's such a variety of things taking place. Everyone there has a relationship with Krishna. And in that relationship, the atmosphere is said to be surcharged with bliss. It's a happy atmosphere. We've just gone through Kartik and the month of Damodar. In that month of Damodar, one of the prayers we says, it explains that these childhood pastimes of Krishna, they drown the inhabitants of Gokul in pools of ecstasy. Why? Because the real sweetness that we're looking for in life, the real taste, doesn't come from connecting with dry, putrid things or for accumulating things. The real taste comes from the soul and its relationship with the Supreme Soul. Once that relationship is established, then the real happiness that we're looking for it can manifest. The taste we're looking for can manifest. The things that we want to hear are different. We want to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, the topics about the pastimes of Supreme Lord. What happened with Dhruva Maharaj? What did Prahlad Maharaj do with his classmates? One story after another, we're listening, and we become enlightened and enlivened. Our existence becomes purified, and that sleeping heart begins to awaken. I told you how Krishna loves us, but the love that he has never changes. But I was telling someone on my way here, that although Krishna loves us and he never changes, and he never stops coming, and he never stops sending his representative, and he stays with us in the heart. Why? Because Krishna knows that we already love him too. It's just dormant. It's sleeping. It has to be awakened. The gift of Srila Prabhupada awakens that dormant love of Krishna. The process of Krishna consciousness awakens love of Krishna. And in that understanding, everything becomes different. Instead of hearing our mind as we engage in devotional service, we hear the voice within. We hear the direction of the Supersoul. Our hierarchical understanding is not what the professor taught me. It's not what Mama said, what we learned in school. It is what the scriptures say. It is what the spiritual master said. So our power of discrimination becomes laser-like. This isn't just that we're smart. What is that? For one who's not connected with the Supreme can have neither transcendental intelligence or steady mind, without which there's no possibility of peace. And how can there be happiness without any peace? So real intelligence, spiritual intelligence, is transcendental intelligence. It's above the mundane influences of ignorance, passion, and goodness. That is what we want. We want the connection with the Supreme. Bhagavad Gita actually is an opportunity for the living entity to understand his relationship with the Supreme and to awaken that relationship. Why? So that he can go back home, back to Godhead. This is the purpose of the Bhagavad Gita. So in that conversation with Krishna and Arjuna, Krishna told Arjuna in the 18th chapter to bring in the importance of the Supersoul. Krishna said that the Supersoul, that I want to read Krishna's words. These two, 61 and 62, are so encouraging to me. The Supreme Lord, Krishna says, the Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna, and directing the wanderings of all living entities who are seated as on a machine made of material energy. O sign of Bart, surrender unto him utterly. By his grace, you will attain transcendental peace and the supreme and eternal abode. This is Krishna. I used to think, well, we don't worship the Supersoul. We worship Krishna, and that's true. We worship Krishna with the two hands, the flute, the peacock feather. But Krishna is so kind. Vadanti tat tat vad vedas tat vam jajganam avyayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavat iti shabdyate. The absolute truth is realized in three phases of understanding by the know of the absolute, and all of them are identical. Such phases or such levels of understanding of the absolute truth are expressed as Brahman. They're those who just they are attached to the all-pervasive aspect of the Supreme. It's real. This is still Krishna. Paramatma, they have a further understanding. So they understand the Lord within the heart. But then there's Sri Krishna Bhagavan. That's the personal. Parthasarthi, the chariot driver of Arjuna. So the Supreme Lord has different aspects that we can understand him by. They're all identical, but ultimately, we want to see that little blue boy. And as we continue to engage in devotional service, then we see Krishna everywhere. We see Krishna in everything. We see ourselves as belonging to Krishna. And the super soul is the guru from within. Externally, you have the spiritual master helping us. Internally, super soul is helping us. Krishna says earlier, I from within the heart destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge that darkness born of ignorance, to show them special mercy. This is Krishna. So Krishna's love and affection doesn't stop just when we get to the point of understanding of Sri Krishna Bhagavan. He's always there. He's always ready to help, to bring us closer. And the super soul is always with us, waiting for us at any point to turn to him. Now, the point of the Gita is that the goal is to go back home, back to Godhead. To the extent that we begin to believe this, then we take up the process of Krishna consciousness. The process of Krishna consciousness is individual. Advancement can be gradual. But the point is, as long as we stay and adhere to the process of Krishna consciousness, we will grow. What we're trying to become, we're all aspiring Vaishnavas. So Vaishnavism is very important to us. And there are characteristics which enable us to become Vaishnavas. In other words, there's a whole culture within Krishna consciousness which enables us to change from a conditioned soul to a pure servant of God. It takes a while in most cases. But that process is the process of Krishna consciousness. In that process of Krishna consciousness, there are do's and don'ts. So we learn, the first thing is we learn how to associate in Vaishnava society. There are people who will always be our superiors. We will have friends. And there are people that who haven't been as fortunate as we are yet. And so there's an etiquette. When we have the senior, we offer obeisances and respects. The peer, we make friendships. The junior man, we flood load them with affection. And what does this etiquette do? By we reveal our minds in confidence. We inquire confidentially. There's a whole exchange of a relationship about to take place. As you find people who already have a relationship with Krishna, then you want it. So you go through the proper steps to make sure that you can get it. Shushu sho shredadanasha vasudeva kataruchi. By serving the Mahatmas, the great service, the devotees of the Lord, a great service is done. And what happens is that they bless us with the ability to hear Krishna's message. As we hear, we act. As we act, our consciousness begins to change. We can't really change so many other people, but we can work on ourselves. As we work on ourselves, then every now and then we'll bump into somebody who's also working on themselves. That's two of us, it's a couple. And when you're fortunate, you bump into somebody else. And three is a crowd. As you continue to adhere to the principles of Krishna consciousness, what happens is that your whole environment becomes changed. It becomes Krishnized. And before you know it, you're working in a community that's a community of affection, a community of love. It has to start somewhere. It starts with us. Krishna is waiting for us to be awakened. As we awaken, as our real identity, not our identity in the spiritual world, but our identity as Jiva Swarupa Hoya, Krishnari Nijadas. Just our identity as an eternal servant of Krishna. As that is awakened, then we act in a different way. We no longer act according to social conventions. We act according to the mannerisms and expressions which are there in Vaishnava behavior, Vaishnava compassion. That compassion just continuously goes out and out, and we want to help others. But as the old cliche goes, for the Lord helps those who help themselves. We continuously take Krishna consciousness more and more serious, and our vision changes, our direction changes, our hearing changes. We hear from within the direction of the Supreme Lord. We check it from the directions of the spiritual master and the other Vaishnavas in Parampara. This creates a society of affection. This is what we're really looking for. So the spiritual world, we may not be there tomorrow or next year or 5 years from now, but we can create an environment which is conducive to experience happiness, to experience peace, to experience compassion. All these things come when we execute the process of Krishna consciousness. What do you think? So, maybe we can have time for discussion.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. It was a very pointed effort to share just such a very advanced concept with us. And I won't pay you a compliment because I know you'll be offended. However, I just look at as a reflection on what you shared, our lives. From the very beginning, the reason why this world is so perverted and, is so against spiritual advancement is because it's designed to serve us, right? And so from early age, I look at myself, I served my parents, right? I served my teachers in school. Now I serve a family. Now I serve the Lord, right? If we learn that our purpose is to serve, and in that service we get closer, we stop thinking about us, right? I, me, and mine. And ultimately, how do we get there? You said the Lord is waiting on us all to awaken and see. Well, how do we see? By chanting the names of the Lord, we will be free. Yeah?
It's true. The point of service, is true. We're always serving. We're either serving the external energy or we're serving the Supreme. But the difference is our vision. Who am I? What's my mission? If I think that I'm my body, if I think I'm my mind, if I think I'm the enjoyer or the controller, then I will work in that direction. And I will always try to make sure that I can control, that I can enjoy. But if I think, Jiva Krishnari Nijadas, if I think I'm an eternal servant of Krishna, but somehow I don't have the strength to act in that capacity, I'm weak. I realize that I have attachments. I realize that I'm somewhat conditioned. At least I can begin to pray. First there has to be acknowledgement before there can be rectification. And then with acknowledgement and rectification, change can come. This whole Krishna consciousness movement is to rectify our consciousness, to rectify our activities, to bring us to a state of a clear understanding of who we are, what the purpose of life is, and what our destination is. Our destination isn't exactly to become the most famous, the richest, the most powerful. Our destination is to be recognized by the Supreme in a pleasing way, through the agency of the spiritual master. In other words, we always want to stay under proper guidance. The mind, even, is waiting for some superior dictation. The mind is waiting to be told what to do. So the false sense of self is where it really starts. We have to change our identification. And instead of hearing our mind, instead of giving them the mic to our mind, we have to give the mic at least to our purified intelligence. And externally, the spiritual master is explaining. He's pointing. Internally, as you said, as we chant, the process is there. It changes the heart. It purifies the heart. Just like the sun comes up. With the sun also comes illumination, it comes knowledge. So with the holy name, knowledge also comes. As we chant, the ignorance begins to subside. And our real situation, our real knowledge, our real identity, not our eternal identity, but our identity as the eternal servant of Krishna, that becomes known to us. Yeah, so it's a process. Yes. Yes.
Thank you, Haryasava. When first hearing about the super soul, sometimes we make a connection between a voice that we hear from within and wonder, is that the super soul speaking to me? We get a good idea, or that we get some form of inspiration, and we make the connection that this must be super soul speaking. Is that true? And how can we know?
Well, two things. Some people don't hear one voice, they have many voices. There's some people hear a lot of voices in their head. Is that super soul? And there are other people who have desires and they hear a voice and yeah, it's telling me. And that too may not be the super soul, but it can be. What is your lifestyle like? Did you check with Guru? Did you check with Shastra? The super soul, the direction of the super soul will bring you closer to Krishna. But you check. You check with Sadhu and Guru. The super soul is not going to tell you to jump off the building. You know, your mind got in there. You heard the wrong voice. But, you know, it's so exacting when you get direction from the super soul. It's like wisdom. Intelligence is one thing, but wisdom is something else. Wisdom is laser. Intelligence, you're smart, but wisdom is laser-like. There's no denying it, you know. But you always check, unless you've become. We never think we're that advanced, so we always check. But the main thing is that the Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, the Shastra is explaining what the super soul wants you to do. Krishna, the whole Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is explaining. Why? Because this is the love. I always keep saying it's a song of love. He's saying, Jeev Jago, Krishna wants us to wake up to the reality that happiness does not exist here. You have the freedom to serve me voluntarily or to suffer again and again and again. There's not a gray area. Even if it appears that you're having a good time, your next body's coming. That's not happiness. That's not right for someone who's eternal. That's not right for someone who is an eternal servant of the Supreme, who comes from a place, as I said, where all we do all day long is talk about, engage, enjoy serving Krishna. You know, the closest thing is when you hear in CC the way they're acting, or in Chaitanya Bhagavat, it's just a riot. You know, they're all engaging just like regular people, but it's all infused with Krishna consciousness. It's such a high level of association and appreciation of Krishna and Krishna's devotees. And now all we're doing is serving, you know, gathering food to offer to Krishna, worshiping the deity, whatever we're doing. It's just such a great assembly. And you see that atmosphere is the atmosphere we're looking for. This is the atmosphere Prabhupada came to give us. You see, when you're reading CC, we just go from one pastime to another. They're chanting, they're engaging, they're honoring Prasadam. It's just wonderful how the devotees are interacting. It's love. This is love. Yeah, so we get a glimpse of here on earth what it would look like. This Lord Chaitanya was here such a short time ago. And when you see devotees who are relishing, devotees who are attached to sadhana and to the process of Krishna consciousness, to the holy name, it's a different association. You come in their association and you become enthused. Part of the process of Krishna consciousness is to inspire and to empower. Your very activity should inspire people if they want to be. If you're being Krishna conscious and people want to be Krishna conscious, you should act in such a way that they can become inspired. Doesn't mean that we do what everyone wants us to do. We do what the spiritual master wants us to do. We do what the other devotees want us to do. We're servants. We're not just friends. As I said, that etiquette, it protects us from offenses. It protects us from offenses and sinful activities. And in place, instead of having those things, we have enthusiasm, we have satisfaction. The satisfaction is coming from within. So we have to make that alignment, because we are conditioned souls. We have the propensity to cheat, to make mistakes, So many things are there. But when we see ourselves like that, as fallen servants, then we're on the right path. Trinada Pisra Chena, Troy Eva Suhishnana, Amanina Manadena, Kirtane Sadhare. We're not high, we're fallen. Prabhupada said, Krishna didn't even send me any third-class men. Can you imagine? He said, Prabhupada was pretty humble. He said, you only sent me fourth-class men. I'm taking your service, so I'm fifth class. Our society, the first item of knowledge earlier in this chapter is 20. It's humility. We might as well get humble. Generally, before humility comes humiliation. Do we have to be humiliated before we can follow the Shastra and be humble? Who am I? Are there any other points Yes? You have to speak really loud because only one hearing aid is working.
We can take this to him. Let's take it to him.
Yeah.
What was your journey like finding a spiritual master, and how did you know that they were the one?
I wasn't looking for a spiritual master. I was looking for fun, But luckily I have an older brother who said, my brother he didn't seem so kind to me. And actually I found out that he was the best friend that I could ever have. My brother said, you're becoming a bonehead. You're coming with me to the Hare Krishna temple tomorrow. I'm like, what? So I came to Krishna consciousness as atonement for doing bad things. But the other side is I was looking. I was searching. There were two things going on. I was searching, but I also still wanted to have fun because I thought that the goal of life was to have fun. And then, it was a holy man I met. I was writing about this when I was young. I was writing about my search for self. And, I used poems and lyrics, so I was writing all these things. But I wrote about this holy man who was speaking to me from Bhagavad Gita. And I couldn't defeat this holy man. And I said, I think I'm going to have to learn this Gita so I can learn what the holy man was saying to me. This holy man is a man named His Grace Rabindra Swarup Prabhu. I met him in 1975, and he wasn't taking anything, but he wasn't accepting anything that I had to say. And he was a little harsh with me. I come to find out that he's one of my dearest friends. In other words, I got association of the devotees. Yeah, I got the Gita, but I wasn't understanding the Gita like that. I thought, wow, this has to be good. No intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling, no meeting. I didn't like meat. But the Gita, I liked. But it was the association of devotees. So you have the same opportunity. I came to a magical place at 424 East Woodlawn Street. It's the first temple I came to. Srila Prabhupada came to that temple. I go by that place, I get in 2-block radius, and I start going crazy. I can feel when I'm near there. But you have here at Allen's Lane, and the same deity, the same shelter that I found on Woodlawn Street, he's here. He's Lord Jagannath. So if you come here, you'll meet Krishna here, form of Jagannath, Radha Hari, Govinda. But the devotees are here. And the devotees, the real advancement in Krishna consciousness comes from the association of devotees. So that's what I suggest. And don't forget to take a Bhagavad Gita. I was telling you about Krishna's love. Well, Krishna has put everything in that Gita for us. So if you get a Bhagavad Gita, if you read Bhagavad Gita, when Krishna asks you at the end, have you heard this with an attentive mind? Is your ignorance and illusion now dispelled? You'll be able to say, yes, I've heard and I've understood, and I'm ready to act by your grace. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
We thank you very much, Haryasava Prabhu, for speaking to us tonight about the Super Soul. If anybody has any additional questions, Haryasava Prabhu will be here for a little longer. And we also encourage you to come every week to hear this series in the 13th chapter on the Super Soul. You can learn how to develop your relationship and see how the Super Soul is acting in your life.
Tell them to get Gita too.
And as Haryasava Prabhu said, if you don't have a Gita, please get it. So we're going to have another kirtan right now. I didn't ask everybody if you can, you're sitting down, you can slide up just a little bit. Okay. Hare Krishna. You can bring out the harmonium.
Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Bhattacharya Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gauri Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hello, my name is Peppa Pig. And this is. Turn it that way.
Hare Krishna devotees. Thank you, Haryasava Prabhu, for that uplifting kirtan. Usually, like the week right after Kartik ends, it's kind of a sad week for everybody. Shri Shri Gauritai ki jai. Gurudev Sukaj Maharaj ki jai. Shri Ganesha Pujari ki jai.
Back.
Because the deity of Yashoda and Damodar, they're only here with us for the Leela of Kartik. And then we're off for candles, and that week afterwards it feels a little bit hollow. You know, we're missing something. But your kirtan is right after this one, we're very dancing. Thank you for your inspiration and your we want to announce tonight's sponsor. It's a birthday, and it is Bhakti Eileen. On her birthday, and she sponsored tonight's piece. Here's Mahaprashadam. We have a garland for you as well. So we want to offer our blessings to her for her year ahead. May Krishna be with her at every step, protect her along her journey, and give her many opportunities of going to Krishna consciousness. Please raise your hands and chant the holy names and blessings. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you and happy birthday. We don't have a lot of announcements tonight. That's good news. If you are here for the first time, we didn't get a chance to welcome you at the beginning of the program. We welcome you now. We'd like to meet you. Please make sure you stop by the book table on your way out. The doors here, we have a gift for you, and if you have any questions, you can answer them at any time. If you're a college student, we have the group from Arcadia back here. I'll come and speak to you in just a minute. But if you're a college student coming here, we do have a college program going on. Yadava Shrestha Prabhu, right here. He'll be on the lookout for you, or you can approach him. And I'm with the Ranga Prabhu. Right here. Okay, there'll be another kirtan in about a half hour. It's 7:30, and right now we'll start out for Shana. Hare Krishna.
How do I stop this?
Press the end button.